doing? Happy Monday? How about that? It's like week goes by and the next thing you know, it's Monday again. Here we are. Cheers. What's everyone getting into? What's the good word? We got some standard issue Monday night adventures to go on. KC, Knives Fast, Marco, What You Know, what's up, Neil? What are you guys doing today? I just got home. Livin. There it is. Can't find anything right now. What's up, B Shady? What's up, B Shady? Oh, where is it now? Shite. I want to take this apart. Oosh. What do you guys know about this thing? The dozier, the KBAR. We're going to try to clean this thing up, see if we can make it a little smooth. Is this as smooth as they are? Because that's stiff. Not a fan. Not a fan. What the plan is to try to make that better. Right now it's a little stiffy iffy, and I'm not liking it. Just got home from work. Me too. What's up, Justin? Oof. Yeah, does anyone have a dozier? I'm wondering if it's something where, I mean, you've got your thumb set only on one side, so is the only option the right hand rollout? Make it worse. Neil, I got to talk to you about that, about your Monterey Bay. I'm going to keep the Monterey Bay knife because we're going to try to laser mark that thing for you. I had a couple ideas. I'll send you some photos, I guess, and we'll try to figure that out. I'd almost forgot about it. But I was like, why do I have this put aside? And then I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is stiff and not a happy feel. Dozier is from a time before flicking the stud, so that's not really something that's always going to be stiff like this. Is there any way you think we can make this any better? I did not watch the game yesterday. I had some other stuff going on, didn't really get any football in. Well, let's do it. Are these T8s? Because they look like they're bigger than T8s for some reason. Which, I mean, sure, they could be 9s, I guess. But are they? Are they? That just seems awfully loosey-goosey. Slick them all. All right, what's this? 9. Well, that should be a 9. What the hell is this? Oh. Wait now. It's an 8. So this is a 9. Neil's got to go back to work. What's up, Dylan? So the KBAR dozier is a T9? Who knew? Who knew? Nine out. Is this a bad idea? Flat one out. Also, yes, that sounds good. R.E. Wolverine. Indeed. All right. Anything else I can take out here? No, not really. Do I have a better pokey? That is surprisingly solid in there, and this is too big. You gotta use things I don't have for 500, Alex. Ugh, come on. Wasn't prepared. Will that fit? Oosh. Kidding me right now? Sure about that? That doesn't even push out. Wild. Like, what way has the least amount of pressure? I would think like that. And it doesn't even fit in there. Give me a crappy tipped junker. Really now? Definitely a bad idea. I had a vision the other day. He did a seafoam to dark green fade on the Koyas. Huh. Alright, we're getting leverage going here with a wild bit. Bro, seriously now? Seriously, am I? Alright. It isn't meant to be smooth. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured, but it's also dirty. So I wanted to clean it up. Ugh. That doesn't even come out, though. That's wild. Like, what is making that want to stay in there so badly? Like, it's looser. It's on its way out. I'm using a bad bit, so it doesn't really, but I don't want to go on there and pry. Man, that is crazy. It feels chunky. There we go. Got it. Okay. And the reason is because of the spring tension. Alright, so that's how that works. Right there. Boing, boing. Okay. Interesting enough. And then this side, maybe now, since there's no spring pressure, may or may not push out at all. Man, that is wildly stiff. Ugh. Right? What's up, KC? Just hanging out for a little bit before you go live. You got anything going on fun tonight? Nary, don't break it. Yeah. My buddy found it. It was pretty crunchy in there. So I wanted to try to take it apart, clean it up, see what it was about. But long story short is, you know, if I ruined it and it was unfixable, I would definitely give him a different knife or buy him another one or something. Flytanium has crazy G10 colors for the AED 20.5 for $29. Yeah, except for their G10. I upgraded mine to titanium. Boring old KC. Whatever, no guests. spring's poking out the back, dude. What do you mean the spring's poking out the back? It's right here. That slides out because that goes in there, and then this pushes down on it. So this is now loose. But that thing is still as tight as it could be in there. Oh, there we go. It's like they put Loctite in there to do it. All right, we're doing stuff. Now, is this glued together or just squeezed? There's the seam right there. But is that something that I want to... Those pins look like they're awfully tight in there too. But if I can get in there, I can wipe this off. Maybe put a couple drops of oil. I don't really need to pull that apart any further. We're just having some fun. Your mom put Loctite on it. I don't Loctite. I don't even know if I have any in the building. If only I had an Ultim pivot pusher. It sounds like something that exists. Sounds like something that exists. Here's an idea. Get your friend a better knife. Ha! I've talked to him about it. I've heard the KBAR Dozier is a solid design though. This is a classic user. I've been considering getting one for my collection. Where are my... Just to have one. Nice knife. What brand? Much love from Canada. That man. This is the KBAR Dozier. This is an older... I don't know how many years old, but this is a kind of an older basic design. Friend of mine's knife really felt crunchy and like they dropped it in the sand or something. So I told him, I was like, yeah, give it to me. I'll wipe it down, clean it up a little bit, see if we can make it any better. Although we might not. It just might be a little cleaner, if anything, at the best. Pretty non-gross on the inside of there. I was expecting to see more like grit, but it's fairly smooth. Dylan was gifted one. Does have some stuff on the end there. Use a little eraser to clean that up a little bit. Maybe do the whole blade. That's a Sabatoru stone. It's basically a rust remover. Kind of a rust eraser, if you will. If there was a heavy coating on here, you'd probably notice more and you might have to be careful, but this is just a, non-coated blade, so I'm just going in here and trying to remove the nasty residue. You can see a couple spots right there. You see that line right across there and those dots. So we're going to go in and kind of treat this whole thing with a little Sabatoru stone wipe, little rust eraser situation. Boom. Much better. See, now those little dots aren't there anymore. This is pretty scratched up. This doesn't really scratch because this is like, if you look, this flexes. This is kind of a rubbery. I don't exactly know what these are made out of. Notice it doesn't take that off. But they are good for rust, and if you have something that's got a lot of crap on it and is pitted up, I use them for cleaning up, like when we do, like I'm going to use this one to do a shipwreck with, and this has all that varnished stuff on that copper, and you go in there with this on one of those, and it'll bring it right back to the shiny copper. It'll remove that right off. Magic erasers work pretty good too. Was a big fan when those were like 12 bucks. What do you mean, Neil? I bought these not too long ago. I think it was 10 bucks and I got two. This one's a little bit more coarse. This one's more fine. I think it's on Amazon for that same price right now. What happens is you get those companies that try to think they're smart, like, oh, well, this product already exists, but now I'm going to make this product for the knife company and then charge double for it. Is that what's happening? What's up, Tegan? You can put eyeliner on a KBAR, but it's still just 3CR. Is that what this one is? 4062 KBAR. Dozier Designs. All right. This has some, noticed on both of these, it's kind of rusty. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe it doesn't really show up the color, but when I'm looking at it with my eyes, it's got a little rust. I'm almost gonna, that's the pivot, so wouldn't hurt to maybe clean that up. If anything, it would remove this black coating, but when it's on the inside of the blade in the middle of the pivot, you're never going to see that anyway, so who cares? Should we put skiffs on it? Is that a thing? Man, you guys are really on my, I guess. I mean, all right. Kaiser sending replacement liners for your drop bear. What happened with the liners? What happened with your liner? I didn't hear about that. Jesus Christ. Gonna wipe down this section too. This is kind of where the grit, I would have almost imagined that whoever had this at one point just didn't care, dropped it in the sand, because that's really what it felt. I just felt like there was grit inside of it, just not allowing it to be smooth. You can just feel that crunchiness. It was like, okay, I bet if we at least just take it apart, wipe it down, maybe it'll be a little bit smoother, but get rid of that grit. That was in there. And it seemed like just like a fun little not too crazy project, just kind of mess around with. 2 months.
Knives Fast became a member. Knives Fast celebrates 2 months of membership. Bye.
Bye. We'll see you in a little bit. Casey will be live in an hour and a half. If I am still live when we're getting close to there, I'll have a link up for you guys to go join in. It's always a good time with his lives. I don't know if I'll be live for that long, but if I am, we will go over there after the fact and raid him up a little bit, although pretty much all of you will probably already have been making your way over there. All right, so this I did not notice, I wasn't paying attention. Is the more bendy side go in? Or was the more bendy side out? That probably needs to go in through this way so that you got the spring. Hi, Kathleen. How are you today? All right, so yeah, I guess we'll find out. I have a feeling it's this way. How do you get that in there? I might need to go get like a tweezers or something, little clamp to grab, because that's going to be right there. But we got to get it to drop into that groove right there, which is interesting. This must be rectified, Justin. What must be rectified? Wow, that's an interesting angle to force yourself to drop that in and under that. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Unless you can do this and then push it through and then spring it up. That's probably the way. Except for now I need a thinner something. I don't have the correct tools at my disposal for what I am currently attempting to achieve, which is fun. I'll be right back. Hold on a second, kids. Here, I'll give you something else to look at for a moment. There you go. Use the clip. Yeah, I could use the clip. It's got that curve to it. I'll be right back. Hold on. Where are they? Boom, okay. Hold on. Ah. It's always when you're looking for a specific something and then you can't find said specific something. All right. What's up, Brando Gonzo? All right, we're back. I'm messing around with an unprepared attempt at something that might not even do us any good. I need to go back in the live stream though and double check here. Hold on. We're gonna look pre-spring eject. There it is. There we go. All right, that looks like the long version, so we need to go in this way. All right, so we're going to drop that in first. If that goes in like that, then how do you gotta really force that up there? That doesn't work. Because it was in there. Is it like this? Oh. Got it. Got it. I had it upside down. I'm sorry, was I off camera there? My bad. My bad. Okay. So we're just messing around here. Took this thing apart. I had the spring in the wrong way. So it goes in like that. That makes a hell of a lot more sense. The other way seemed confusing. So then the spring catches on that little nub right there. So when it goes down, you've got that. You put that pressure through there on the pivot, and then that loosens it up. We've got it. Okay. Okay. What's up, Brian? We're just doing a little dozer messing around. Can you flip the thumb stud to the other side if you want? Looks like you can. Or is it like got a chamfer or something in there that you only can have it on the one side? Does anyone know? I mean, I'm not gonna switch it. I'm just curious if you can. Okay, so this doesn't have anything to do with this spring. But this does. There is no... Wow, that's crazy. There's like no washers or nothing. It's just basically... Or there's some inside of there. Looks like there might be some that have been nested down in there. Notifications are for sissies, right, Dana? How you doing today? We're messing around with this bad boy here. Okay, so was everything... Of course, I don't pay attention. When I was trying to... Everything goes through from here to the other side. So when I squeeze this down, the pivot is going to go through there with the D side that way. Wow, that slides in a hell of a lot easier than... Now, was that up that far when we did it the first time? It's because the blade's going to hold that when it's there. All right, I'm just experimenting, trying to figure stuff out, how it works. Boom. All right. I think that's correct. So we can just put oil on that after the fact. Let's try putting this in there like so. That seems to line up perfectly. All right, remember there is a blade and tension and sharpiness. Sure. Just like that. Seems to be correct. Okay, so this one's for the pivot. We got to get our T9. What's up, Renee? Did it have washers? It looked like it might have some inside there, but if they were painted blue, but there was a little ring, but that could just be a little ring that gets cut from opening and closing. You can do it. Yeah, we've already done the hardest part. Now, the whole point of this was more to maybe clean up any sand that might be in there, and then just kind of learn about how it's put together. So here we are. I wonder if that you can like put that spring in either way, if that's like an option or if it only is made for the one direction. So, all right. We have a righty knife, so the clip goes on this side here, which means this. Wait, was it like that? Or does the flat side go in there? I think it was like that. Pretty sure it was like that. Now I better check. Does anyone else think the blade to handle ratio is a little off? Like the handle looks a little long? Ugh. Thing is still stiff. I didn't even tighten it that much. All right. Well, it doesn't feel crunchy, so there's that. It had literally just had some sand down in there that cleaning it up looks like it. Let me back this up and double check I didn't put that on backwards. Really? Man, my eyes are going bad. KBAR, yeah, this is an inexpensive knife for sure. I don't own one personally. It doesn't have the action and the stuff that I kind of go for. But my buddy found it and I was like, yeah, let's see if we can clean it up. Gift a pyrite to him. This is what I'm carrying today. Ramet Meteor, M390 titanium, carbon fiber. We have a button lock, and it's also a button actuated liner slash bolster lock. But, you know, every once in a while you got to play with a less expensive little junker, little beater knife. I bet you some people really like this thing. All right, here we are. We got her back together. That feels smooth. Still just kind of a roll open with the thumb. That's solid though. So got your back lock. Thumb stud only on one side. Really, that's your opening method. Other than if you want, I guess you can do a pinch open if you're really. 7 years ago, this was everyone's budget banger list. Is it sharp? No. Should we see what we can do? Like a very short. That'll be a fun one. I haven't done that in a while. Where we sharpen it only using the field sharpener and in a short time, and see what kind of edge we can put on it in a short time. Who's into that? Okay. Boom. Donnie, what's up, Donnie? Look at this junker. The old KBAR dozer. Ugh. I cleaned it up. It doesn't feel chunky anymore. The blade looks cleaner, but she's dull. So let's just do the old school. We're only going to use this, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time, and we're going to do a kind of a test and see what we can come up with in a short amount. All right, let's look. Ooh. It's one of these. Look at this. This is, okay, this is about as dull as you could possibly go. That is full dullage. All right, we're only going to use the Work Sharp field sharpener. 200 grit on this side, 600 on that side. We got the ceramic rod. All right, you saw it right there. It is real. It's about 35. What are we at? 512 right now. Let's make some passes and kind of see what's going on here. All right. Ooh, crunch. I'm going to do the 200 for a little bit here, since it's really nasty. It is a hollow grind. Oh, that's what we should have done. Should have done this first. I don't know how well this is going to work on the screen here, but I'll be able to see it. There's your edge. Yeah, it's a little white on that edge. You can't really see the lines, but I've already done a few passes, so I can already see my passes on here. Ooh, you can see them pretty good right there. Getting some lines going horizontal there. So let's just go ahead. I was a little late on that. I should have did it before we made a few passes, because instantly a couple good pushes is going to be changing where this is at. Honestly, haven't used the 200 in a while. Most knives I have are already decently sharp, and so you can kind of skip this part and go straight into the 600. Really want to pay attention and keep your angle straight or consistent is the biggest thing. Okay, let's just go ahead and just speed run this. That was about as dull as I've ever started with. That wouldn't even like to make several passes on both sides, kind of make sure you curve in for that tip. Once you get used to kind of doing it, you can kind of speed up, and you know whether or not, if you're leaning this too far this way, you'll notice you're only getting the tip, and if you lean too far that way, you'll scratch the side of the blade. Just kind of, it does have these guide angles on there that kind of help you kind of get started or feel consistent, but if you do it regularly, kind of start to get a feel for it. And then as I go, I will make lighter passes. So now I'm pushing less. Just kind of more lighter passes. Let's do the ceramic rod. I just want to see what, just a minute, if we can even notice. And then lighter passes, barely putting pressure on it at all. And then maybe a couple strops. I need to put some more juice on this strop. It's not in great shape. That Neves or Kyle technique? Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is the Work Sharp Field Sharpener. So these are like 35 bucks, 40 bucks. Real simple sharpener, not much going on with it. All right, by no means am I done, but it did bite. There you go. See, we're getting at least now it's actually biting into the paper. Back to it. How does everyone else sharpen? I honestly don't have to sharpen much. I have lots of knives, and I rotate through them regularly. I really don't need too many passes with this 200 grit. It's really for refining a new edge, but you saw how dull that was, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a few. I'm going to give it a few extra on this tip section here. Remember, the big thing is just keeping your angle consistent. You can hear how much more scraping, how much more stuff is happening with the 200 versus when we switch to the 400 or the 600. Now listen to this. A lot smoother. That grit difference. I'm going to do a little more tip work here. A couple more long passes. Ultimately, though, for a little sharpener, this thing is not a bad little deal. If you're just touching up, if you let your blades get really dull and use them for months and cut hundreds of times a day before you sharpen, it's going to be a lot of work. But if you, like, once or twice a week, just go in and take one of these and just give it a couple of minutes, you are back in shape really quick. And so it's more about maintaining, is what I think. I use it a little bit, maintain it, and then there's nowhere near the amount of work. Got to work that tip, though, Gonzo, for sure. Either way, this is a good one to have, even if you use a bigger sharpener when you're at home. But this is great to bring with you, carry around. What's up, J1 Doobie? All right, so we're going to do some ceramic rod passes. Let's turn that to there. I like to push a little harder the first few times. And then as you work it, a few less strokes on each side, a little bit lighter on each side. You don't have to go fast. Sometimes just a nice, long, smooth pull. It's definitely about the angle. You know, once you start changing your angle a lot, that's when you're going to be removing and then destroying things that you've been refining. A couple of strops at the end. This strop really needs some more of that stuff. Pretty much out though right now. All I have is the crap stuff that came with it. Okay. Little piece of paper. Do another check. Not bad, but I'm noticing out at the tip right out here, we're starting to have some situations. Let's take a look again. See if we can find anything. Everyone, make sure you subscribe, like the video, hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Robin. Or wait, no, it's Ron. Ron. What's up, Robin? How are you? What's up, Ron? All right, so let's take a look at our edge here. Nice lines. Sorry if it doesn't show up as well on the camera here. This is a little handheld. There, that's a pretty good visual right there. So you can see right here, it looks like I'm not getting out. So my angle, if you look right there, you can tell I can't really point it out. But what you were looking at is if this was the sharp, all of this was the sharp edge, I was refining this part here, but not up to there. So I'm not getting down low enough, like at an angle, and it's I'm running it maybe 20 some degrees and it needs to be a little bit lower. So I need to bring my angle down a little bit on that tip to refine that a little bit better. So these can definitely help. How's little microscope work? This one's great. It's small, it's handheld. You can take photos with it. And for as far as for on there, it doesn't work that good, but like see these letters right there. And so boom, you get on there. I was just trying to show you something that's a little bit easier to focus. There's a D. So if you look at how big that is on the screen, the little dirt and flecks and stuff in there, and that's that right there. So it does work really well. For 15 bucks or whatever it was, it works awesome. So I'm going to spend some time on this. I can see where I'm at right here. I'm going to set this on the table and actually Some people will use the Sharpie technique where you put a Sharpie down and then you can see what you're removing. I can see now from here to here. You notice that little difference right there in the light? Everybody has their methods, their techniques, what works good for you. The rail guided systems are nice. Some people like using the Sharpies. I have a few stones, like if I was going to spend more time, I got a couple larger stones, I would just sit there and just work them on that stone. I kind of enjoy it. Alright, so that's what I'm doing is as I'm coming like this, I need to be more down here, not up here with this particular blade. It looks like it had been pulled a little higher. I'm not blaming anyone. You just got to learn the blade that you have and what it's doing. That's why sometimes that little microscope or that magnifying glass is nice, because I could literally see that I was coming in at too high of an angle and it wasn't matching up. So I need to, when I'm here and I'm coming through, I need to drop my wrist a little bit more right in that spot. And so maybe in this case, because we are refining a more damaged or older, that was a really dull edge, using something better more than the little field sharpener. But that's why I kind of like using this in this case. I could show that even with the little, if all you can afford is a little field sharpener, you can still make some stuff happen. Alright, let's see if we can get a nice full cut here without it catching any burrs. Also, a good strop goes a long ways. Really gets off that burr. You're rolling a burr on one side, and then you can just get rid of that. Just hone it out. What's up, Mo Patty? Mo Patty sent me some really cool knives to check out. I've passed them, and they're on their way back to her now. Thanks again, Patty. I did kind of want to buy that one winter blade, but been buying quite a few knives, and I try to budget what I spend. And oops, sorry, I'm bumping the camera, and it just wasn't in the cards for right now. But I appreciate that Patty sent me some cool knives to check out. What's up, Kevin? Kevin Smith and Knives. Got to finish reviewing Kevin's knives here. Fred just sent me a few more as well, so I've got some more knives to review. I really appreciate everyone doing that. It helps make content, helps me be able to keep going without spending. The first year I made videos, it's like any knife review or almost any video, I would have had to buy a knife and then have it for the videos. Now we're talking, right? I think we're all the way there. Now I just want to refine it a couple more times. Actually, there's another one I have that I use for refining once in a while that I've had forever. This Smith's with some ceramic rods, and you can use the tip and then you can use the edge. Anybody ever use one of these? We'll do it a couple times just for fun. So this one, you just go on the end of the table here, and you got to keep your angle right, but just back and forth like this. And if you hold your line right, keep it straight, it's only a ceramic rod. So it's not removing a lot of material, it's not doing a lot, but you're kind of more honing. But you can do, 30, 40 passes on there, and that kind of helps bring it in. Throw that strop. Ooh, this leather piece is just bad. Let's get a fresh piece here. What are you up to today, Kevin? Here we go. I got the whole blade in there. A little bit on the tip there. But I can't tell if that was just me catching or if that was something up on that edge. Yeah, there's still a little bit right in there that we could probably find and fix. But compared, if you just tuned in, you should have seen how dirty this, or it wasn't really that dirty, but the blade was fairly dirty. There's a couple spots on it. Those are all gone now. This is cleaned up. I am bouncing like a wild man. Smooth open now, doesn't feel gritty anymore. What's up, Paul? Just doing a little fun on this silly little KBAR dozier of my buddies. Just cleaned it up, took it apart real quick, got her back together. It was one of those ones where I was rubbing it on my finger like this and it wouldn't cut. And now we've been making some cuts with it. So it's not too bad. I'm gonna do a couple of more here. Really get focusing on the tip. And mostly this is just to show that you can take one of these little cheap field sharpeners and still get the work done. So if you have a knife and it's not sharp and you're complaining like, I can't afford a $300 sharpener, like, you don't need one. Will it be maybe easier for you? Potentially. Some people struggle with holding a good angle when sharpening. So then that kind of makes it harder for them to get a good edge. Apologize if I'm missing the chat here a bit, but paying attention to what I'm doing, and I haven't been able to look up as much. And I wanted to clean this up and give it to my buddy on Wednesday and then let him decide if he likes it. Or what I found with some of my buddies, they end up with a knife like this or like a cheaper Swiss Army knife or something, and they're either fine with that or they get interested in a knife that's in my pocket and I show them, and then all of a sudden they're like, ooh. Paul's working on black on titanium. Some lighter passes. And I need to find some stuff for my strop. This is just no bueno. That's good enough for me. That gets all the way out. There isn't anything now. Boom. Let's take a look one more time here. Let's see all those lines nice and straight. Oh, there's a little chip right there still. It's awfully small though. This is zooming in quite a bit. And then up here is where I had that issue where I kind of rolled it. Yeah, I don't quite make it. I know that's kind of hard to tell. Still not quite the profile of perfection on there. But we are recording and then doing this in front of everybody, so it's like I'm not really able to focus as much. Although that edge right there definitely is significantly better than it was. So we'll give it that. KBAR dozer. Am I going to buy one for myself? Probably not. Oh, dude. You see that? That is part of my table. I just went like this and just literally caught and scraped out part of my table with my nail. And I didn't bend the nail back over. You saw it sit in the chunk? All right. I need to get that leather piece over the top. I dropped a couple things into it, little dent right there. Anybody else pick up one of these though? This thing is pretty cool. See, even the smallest little, there's my fingerprint. It's a very specific focus though. It literally is, it only focuses at a distance. You can't adjust your focus. So you have to go in there and then move it closer or further away to that in order for you to have it in the correct focalness. Sharp nails, dull blades. You know it. Where's my... Oh, too small of a piece of paper. Carrying my Meteor today. Fun stuff. Did it come with a stand? Did what come with a stand? What did you get a stand for, Robin? I will not stand for this. Oh, my microscope? This one didn't. No, this is a handheld. So this is it. This is it. My buddy, guys know Ken Fixed. He's got one that's about this size that sits on a little tripod, and you set something on the table and you can adjust it. And then you could plug something like that into a USB, and then I could get it up on a screen. And then when I'm like live streaming, we could actually put it up on there. I'm thinking about getting one of those too. What's up, Henry? Hello. How are we doing? Dozier cleaned up. I don't know what else I'm going to do with it. Rolls out fine. Decent little, I don't know what you'd call this, a beater knife. I kind of wanted one for the collection for a while, just because it's kind of one of those staples. It's like one of those ones, like you said, like 7 or 10 years ago, it was one that everyone was into. Kind of like, I have a few others that are similar to that. You know, your ones, it's just everyone's got to have a rat, like Model 1 or a Model 2. This one, the Ontario rat. That's a big old OS 8 Model 1. They have so many different versions of this, but this is just your basic. What happens if you spritz bleach on your scales? Probably nothing. Bleach will only remove color from things that have, or like when this was made, like this G10 was made, it was green. So you put bleach on, like it's green all the way through. That's the color of the material. You put bleach on that, it might make it a little bit lighter, maybe, but chances are it probably won't do anything. Now, colored fabrics, maybe like a micarta or something that's got like G10 isn't very porous. It's like dense, those types of plastics and things. Something like a micarta might soak it up a little bit, but trying to make things lighter, like people like, oh, I want to make this white, well, bleach it. It's like you'll never really be able to do that because any color that's in there is still going to kind of have a little faded amount to it. But adding things to white to make it a different color is significantly different than trying to remove color, like with a bleach. What's another staple knife for the collection would be like the Opinel. I'll never carry this. You got your little collar lock right there. Which one do I have? The number 8 or I can't even see. Does it say on there? Oh, right there on the collar, the number 8. Yeah, I think that's the standard one. But yeah, not another knife that I would really carry or use, but it's kind of one of those staple from a different era, kind of a collection piece, which I think is cool. Like Justin recommended, we were talking about the Big Chief. The Big Chief is a cool one. This is an aluminum integral. Silly little slip joint. I love it. It's great. Or like a Nigo or Higo no Kami friction folders. Just another one that's part of history, kind of cool for the collection. Oh, dang. But not necessarily something I would carry. That's kind of what I would put like a Dozier. I would end up, if I ever bought one of these Doziers, that would end up probably right on this shelf next to some of these others. You know what I mean? Anybody have some of the knives that I'm talking about like these? What would be another knife that would fall under this category? Maybe like a Gerber Paraframe. You know, not saying it's a good knife, but it's kind of one of those ones where it's like everyone knows what that knife is. You know what I mean? The old M16s from CRKT. There were so many different M16s out there back in the day. This was my daily carry for quite a while. Just an old CRKT. This one's the M16 10KS Spyderco Tactical Tomahawk. Penguin these days? Yeah, I do have a. Where is my Penguin? It's on the table over here. My shipwrecked QSB Penguin. Probably the coolest penguin out there, huh? Look at that. Oh, baby. I love the way this shipwreck turned out on here. Just kind of has this like, looks like you're looking down on like a Zelda map or something, right? Or is it just me? It looks like terrain from above. I dig it. I never put the clip back on. I like looking at both sides, so I ended up not even clipping it. Penguin is kind of a nice one, though. Those are what? For the base model of those? $30? Something like that? What's a Spyderco Tactical Tomahawk? Is it like this? Is it like this? Or is it like this? Wait, where is that? Oh, it's in the other room. I got the CRKT. An axe. Is it a knife? Is it an axe? Yes. Sharp edge on the top and on the side. Good angle. We could boom right in the table with that thing. I mean, we could. I don't know why you would, or maybe you should. Haven't had the Valhalla. What about this one, Gabe? Just throw that in your pocket. Hey, what's happening? Valhalla. I love it. I mean, this thing is just silliness. But it sure is fun, right? Or am I crazy? Am I crazy? Or is this super fun? I should get 3 of these. If you know, you know. I should definitely get 3 of these. All right. Did my chat freeze? Or everybody's just cool? Everybody's just chilling? Everybody be cool! I'm doing this top chat thing again. Top chat. Silliness. I still got to get this up on the wall. I need to do that. Always things to do, not enough time. More like what Derby City had. Dude, Derby City with those matching, sorry, my eyeballs. Right? They had the matching sets where it was like the tomahawk and then the knife, or the bigger knife and the smaller knife, but they both have the same really fancy kind of handles to them. Super cool. Super cool stuff. No. Alexandria from Brazil. Greetings, Brazil. I'm in Minnesota. How is it in Brazil today? What is the CRKT? It like sounds familiar, but it also doesn't. It sounds like you're punking me. The rip snort, right? It just sounds like, what? Who calls something the rip snort? I do a lot of metal detecting and magnet fishing. That's fun. That's fun. I've thought about the magnet fishing does look like, my buddy's got a couple metal detectors, gone out and done that a few times. There's a few fun places you can go. But the fishing thing, I think that would be fun. Because then you never know what, crappy fishing gear you're going to find or whatever. The CRKT Rip Snort 2, $51. Got a little, what is that handle made out of? It looks like it's got kind of a woody, I don't know if that's turning out. No, it does kind of show up there. It's kind of got this wood grain kind of texture, and then this little, why is the clip, what is this clip? It makes me want to throw up a little. Specs. 8CR13, green handle. Or does GRN stand for something? Something reinforced. I know FRN is fiberglass reinforced nylon. Is GRN stand for something? Hello from San Jose, California. Right on. I used to live out in California. Seen it at Fleet Farm. They had one of these at Fleet Farm. Look at that clip though. It's just God awful. It's so short, tip down only. Ugh. Yikes. Glass reinforced nylon. There you go. I was close. Green. What's up, Robert Willoughby? Fiberglass reinforced nylon. I've said that many a time. But GR, or what is, yeah, GRN. Green. It's green. What are you up today, Rob? Up today? What are you up today? About 2 pounds. 2.5 pounds. Whoop. So we did that. I don't know if I might go in and kind of mess around with it for another 10 minutes. Make the edge a little bit more screamy. But it's no longer... I should have let you listen to the griminess at the beginning. But this had some grit. Still kind of a tight open, but no more grit. And it looks nice and clean. Blade looks smooth, sharper. You can definitely tell the edge is way better. That edge was about as bad as it gets. Robert's been watching some knife channels, yeah? I do that quite a bit. Dude, I'm loving this. Passed around from Fred, and I said, Fred, I want. He said, I'm selling. I said, gimme. I still got to send him some money, but I will be. This thing is cool, though, the Remet Meteor. We have a button-actuated liner lock, or are we calling this a bolster lock? Button-actuated liner bolster lock. So you can sit there and close it with that lock. I can close it with the button. With the right side, we can button or drop it. Flicks out, buttons open easy. Front flipper that I failed. The front flipper actually works great. The index finger roll over really easy. Feels nice in the hand. Paul, you would definitely call that a bolster. Bolster liner lock. Button actuated bolster lock. I dig it. It's nice. Feels good in the hand. I like the choke up. I like the chunky, thick handle. I like a wide berth on that handle. Give me a wide tip or butt base. Give me a wide base butt. Get it in my palm. My pinky don't even touch. See that space right there where the pinky don't touch? That's what's up. I mean, there's something to be said for a nice thin little thing, but look at this. I could wrap my pinky around. I could bury my nail under there. Definitely touch. I could put 2 fingers in there, still touch. Settle down. Anybody order some of them custom scales for the Guile? I did not. For a $70 or whatever knife with Nitro V, $155 scales seems like if I'm going to get $155 scales on this, skip the $70 version, just make a $200 version, put S90V on the blade. Kenman likes a dumper. Noted. But $155 scales is going to make this a $220 knife with Nitro V. Is that, I mean, you hear me? $200, this should be S90V. Yeah, just make a premium version. Although, I mean, the scales are cool because he replaces the pivot with a pivot that's shaped in his, like, logo, which is kind of cool because when he milled out the scales, obviously, instead of a circle, it's kind of got that shape to it, which is pretty cool, but... Or you get those, that blue glass. The blue glass ones are like $400. Put some blue glass scales on this. I like the knife, even though it's definitely thin, delicate kind of a blade. Give me that chunky boy. Definitely like this. Kind of got that classy, almost tuxedo kind of look with the white carbon fiber on there. Still not a huge carbon fiber kind of person, but something about this one in this case just feels good. You don't like this one, Mick? You like Ramette, but you don't like this one. Tell me why. Everybody likes what they like, though. I generally am not a fan of carbon fibers. Oh, you don't like the Civivi? Sure. Sure. Something about it, I dig it. If this whole thing was wider, like if you were to make this a 1/4 inch wider, 1/2 inch wider this way, and make this also a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch wider that way, just literally put this in Photoshop and then go, ain't nothing but a heartache. You know what I'm saying though? Photoshop. Just give it some thickness. Call it the Guile thick. The Guile wide. I mean, look at your drop bear. Nice, chunky, kind of like a bear. This thing is pretty gross, though. That micarta just looks kind of, hey now. I said, hey now. Or my stout. The stout's got another one with that thick handle where it's just a nice wide handle on there. Just makes me happy. A little bit wider on the blade as well. It's kind of more my style. Of course, I got the big one. Saber tooth. This one's a chunker. Not really a fan of the shiny blade though. I don't know, I said something about, yeah, there were some titanium scales for the Guile. They also had some brass and some like blue glass or whatever. The blue glass ones are like $400. Cleaning micarta is super easy. Yeah, but this is like dirty green micarta. It's already kind of just, it looks dirty. It's not necessarily dirty. It just looks dirty. You look dirty. I thought about matting the blade on this. A couple people got on me about that though. Justin, you got to be careful about flipping to those other lives. They can get scary. Get a little intense. Intense. Chupacabras? I like that double click. Let them soak in hot water, dish soap, 5 minutes. Hit them with a nail brush, rinse under hot water. They'll be like new when they dry. Please. It's my only tactile, but I like it. I like shark locks and super locks. So for me, this one's cool. Feels nice in the hand. It's got that extra click. It brings me joy. Is Fred up in here? I didn't see him in the chat, but I see people talking to him. What's up, Fred, if you are? J1 Doobie said he saw someone boxing a telephone pole. Mick likes the broken in look. I do too. Penman, I got another YouTube channel for you. Anyone else to check out? Jesse who? Jesse who? Jesse who? Jesse who? Jesse. Jesse's gonna make his peas and poops. It's gonna feel good for Jesse. Do I look that up on YouTube then? Have you messed with the new CJRB Simone? My day was pretty good, Fred. Pretty chill. Easy day at work. It has an X-bar shark style lock. And then Paul, Jesse Who on the YouTubes. Copy. Used an Ironfly Yole at work today. Hell of a slicer. What was that Ironfly that I reviewed? What's up, Donnie? Time for your KDK daily cartoon. Yes.
Mick Ranger became a member. Mick Ranger celebrates 6 months of membership. 6 dang months of this madness. Keep it up, KDK. Upside down face emoji.
Mick Ranger, gas station member for 6 months. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Keep it up. The madness. No kidding. Definitely some madness. I appreciate that, Mick. Mick always has given me some good ideas on new knives to check out. All right, where did that search go? There it is. My bad. Finding it. Sliding it over here. Oh, the Simoon is that one. Yeah. I should have known that. This is the Simoon. I haven't messed around with this. I did handle one, I believe, in Atlanta. But what I did get is I got this, which has the same lock on it. And this is the CJRB bolt. So it's got the crossbar lock. And if you look on the back right there, the crossbar also has this little nub. See the crossbar going up and down? So you can thumb stud this like a normal knife, crossbar lock it, or you can use that little piece on the back like a Shark Lock Super Lock. That's the recoil lock from CJRB. So crossbar action, thumb stud action, back lock or recoil lock, flick out, crossbar, flick out, recoil, crossbar, flick out, crossbar, recoil. All the funs. Doesn't Devo have a knife called the Saloon? I don't know. Searching for tall chodes. Anyone have any recommendations? I like that idea, Grateful Dong. I also am looking for some tall chodes. Brown bag, EDC, question mark? You could totally EDC this. This is a bug out killer all day long. Nice choke up on it. Nice little set of jumps. Feels good in the hand. Great action. Boom. That finger choil up front, though, is nice. If you want to see it next to a bug out, there you go. Pretty much the same size. The finger choil makes it way better, and then the action. Look at the bug out. Weak sauce. You could buy like 3 of these for the price of that bug out, and it's 3 times better. This isn't my bug out, Fred. This is a nice bug out as far as bug outs go. This is Kevin Smith and Knives bug out. Look at that mirror edge. But the action is just, oh God, it sucks. Close. Not a fan. Here's a nice one, Bestex VK Void MagnaCut 140. Come on, let me, ugh. Do you have any CGRBs with paint? Oh, I would imagine that that peels off. Yeah, that paint is not really a finish. They have some that are kind of cute though because they paint the blade or whatever. Like they got the pink handle with the blue blade and stuff like that. But that is definitely paint. So paint isn't like a PVD coating or a DLC coating or anything like that, where it is paint. So it is going to scratch. It's going to come off.
J. Corskadden became a member. J. Corskadden celebrates 14 months of membership. 6 months should be so lucky I've been hurting for 14.
6 months should be so lucky. 14 months from Jay. My man. Mr. Korskaden. What a guy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. 14 months. How the time goes by. That's wild. So the Katuo Yakuza, the budget one's 120 bucks. They're all right looking. Have to try one out. I don't know, something about the blade, I'm not a huge fan. Bring it over here. It's like a dual grind, and then the tip has a different grind to it. It's all right looking. You can swap the clip. Yeah, Justin, Mopatty stuff's all gone. She had some really cool stuff, though. When I'm not broke, I will definitely. Don't ever feel that you need to get a membership. I mean, you can like and subscribe for free. You know, I don't want you to feel obligated to throw me a couple bucks every month. I mean, I appreciate it if you do, but make sure you take care of yourself. You know, it's all good. You still never got that Excalibur from MC? That's a bummer. Yeah, I already sent Mopatty's back to her. What would you recommend around 40 bucks for a lefty? There's so many things. There's so many. Some of the more recent ones in that $40 to $50 range, I would say if you're really stuck on 40 bucks and you can't get up to that 50 or whatever, I would look at some Sen cuts. I just picked up this is the Sen cut Awasi. This was $45. Thumb stud, liner lock, flipper tab on the back. 9CR 18 MOV hollow grind on there. A little bit bigger knife, nice choke up on there. But around that $45, so pretty close. That CJRB bolt that I just showed, this one right here, with this clutch lock, or this crossbar lock, and the recoil lock on the back, this one's about 50. But this one's really nice for lefties because the lock is on the back and on the sides. So you can squeeze in the left hand or the right hand, or push on the back in the left hand or the right hand, exactly the same. So it's very ambidextrous in that case. Plus you can flip the clip from the left side to the right side. This one's going to run you maybe $10 more around that $5 range. Back to Sen cuts. Same one, if you're willing to jump up just a little bit into that more of that $50, $60 range. This is probably my favorite Sen cut. Flipper tab, button lock, flicks out really nice, thumb studs, drops shut. This one's probably around 50, 60 bucks though. This is the Serene, but button locks are great for lefties. You can swap that clip from one side to the other. The button can be actuated really easily with the left or the right hand. You just got a Sen cut Chiral for 28 bucks. Aluminum can chip. I mean, if you drop it or nick it into something, it definitely will leave a mark. Where is that? The Sencut Chiral is great. If these are $28 right now, that's a really good deal. Boom. Flips right out. Really nice drop shut. Good choke up on there. Just a simple, nice little user for $30. Not bad at all. Sencut really makes some cool stuff. If you really want to get down to that $30 range, this is the Sencut Honorous. This is like their first knife that they made. Liner lock, got the flipper tab on the back. Flicks out really easy, but this is a $30 knife. So this would be $10 less than your $40 that you're kind of shooting for. Kershaw Iridium for $40. Kershaw Iridium for $40? Really? I have an Iridium somewhere. I did. I do. Kershaw Iridium. Another crossbar style lock. $40 for that right now? That's not a bad price. What was the name of the Sencut Warney you just got? Owasi. The Owasi. Nice long hollow grind Warney that is just stupid sharp. It's just wild how a $40 knife can just be a razor out the box. Nothing wrong with 9CR. This is a bigger boy too. I thought it was going to be the size of a penguin. I've showed this a few times now. Where did I set my penguin? You look at the photo, you're like, oh yeah, it's going to be like the penguin. But look at how much bigger it is than the penguin. A lot. So if you want a oversized penguin, why did you call me? What did you call me? Penguin's another one. QSP Penguin. What are these? The basic Penguin is, I believe, is about $30. $35. QSP Penguin. Another decent one. There's just a ton though in that range that is actually pretty great. What else? If you're looking for something wild and goofy, $44. A Nanner. The CJRB Nanner. Boom. Vosteed, Fred. Psh. You know how we feel about Vosteeds around here. This one's a little wild, not for everyone. Definitely kind of a unique. It'd be good maybe for doing some skinning and stuff with the tips a little weird, a little wild, but it's just if you want to get a unripened Nanner in your pocket. Migron Vacor for $43. Migron makes some great stuff for some budget prices as well. I can't remember the name of this one. Migron Parasum or Talus Parasum. This is $30. D2. Flipper tab only. But Migron makes some solid stuff. Didn't know I don't like Vosteed. Fred, didn't you see my when I tried to get a Ankylo? I ordered a lefty Ankylo. They sent one, or I paid for it, full price. They sent one. I couldn't get the clip. Like the clip had a plug on the other side. Couldn't get the plug out. And I'm like, I can't get this plug out. It was like literally wedge jammed in there. And they were like, oh, send it back, and then we'll send you another one. I'm like, okay. Then they sent me another one. The one they sent me was used, beat up, scratched, damaged. The button was falling out of the Vancor lock. And it didn't even have the option to swap the clip to the other side. So the issue I had was I couldn't pull that tab out to swap the clip. They sent me a replacement at full price that was used, damaged, scratched, beat up, and didn't even have the option to swap. I let them know that. I showed them the video of my unhappiness when I got my replacement, and they were like, well, send that to us, and when we get that, we'll send you another one. And I was like, how long is that going to take? Well, when we get this one back, we'll look at it, and then we'll, and I was like, so now I'm going to have to wait another month. And I just said, give me my money back. And then I spent $200 on another knife that I'm very happy with. But they had multiple chances, and they chose their path. And so when they choose their path, I chose mine, and mine was to no longer give them $200. I mean, it had been quite a while to get the replacement, and then the replacement was like, did anyone even look at this? It made 0 sense. And then when I told them that, they were like, oh, well, you send that back. And when we get it, we'll look at it. And I'm like, you can watch the video of me unboxing it right now. You can see exactly what it looked like when it came out of the package from you. And yeah. So I don't really talk about it, which is fine. I mean, I don't sit here and talk bad about them. I don't rip them apart or anything like that. But I usually I send my attention elsewhere. There's so many. Vosteed, none for now. What they sent was gross. It was weird. But, especially because the first one, they're like, oh, well, we watched the video, because I told them, I was like, I'm just trying to get the tab out, because when you can swap a clip from one side to the other, sometimes there's a little tab that's in there. And the tab, when it got screwed on, the tab wasn't cut correct. So it didn't fit in there, because like the tab is shaped a little off or whatever. And so when it's sitting in one side, it fits like this. But when you take that off, and you put it on the other side, it should be like this. And so when it goes in there, it doesn't fit right. So the side that it was in, the right side, it wouldn't come out. It was like wedged in there. And so I couldn't remove it. And I'm like, I sent him, I was like, you can watch the video on YouTube. I sent him some photos and stuff to try to see, like, hey, all we need to do is get this tab out and get it swapped to the other side. Plus, the Vancor lock was also bad on that one. Both of them, the button just spins and falls out and wouldn't stay in. The liner lock on your send cut was a little low. They offered other knives. Right. And it just depends on how, I've had other companies that would have, like, hey, hold on to that. We're going to send you another one. Make sure that's good or whatever. And then you can send us back the first one or something like that. But they were like, no, we want you to send this back. Like, didn't offer to give me like a return shipping, and it like, oh, send it to us. Like, okay, you're going to send me a label or something to have this fixed because you sent me something that doesn't work? And I had to ship it myself. And then they shipped me another one. I had to ship that one back myself to get a refund. Yeah. When I had the issue with the Jack Wolf, Ben found out about it, jumped in my live, told me he's sending me another one with a shipping label. And when I get the other one, I can take it, make sure I'm happy with it, and then put the one that was bad in that box with the shipping label and send it to him. That's customer service. The new one that I got, fantastic. It's right here, the Gateway. I had a weird issue with the Gateway. It was some type of a milling situation. Ben didn't find any others that had that problem, but what was happening is you'd pull it like this and let go, and the blade would stay out. It wasn't snapping back in. And out of the hundreds that he went through, what's up, multi-potentialite? How you doing today? And Kodiak Edge, what's going on? Kodiak Edge in the house. And so we were talking about it on the live, and Ben was like, yeah, there's something didn't happen or whatever. And so he sent me this one. I'm super happy with it. This is the Gateway with the abalone. This is their Jack Wolf's first kind of budget version. Fantastic little slip joint though. Nice half stop on there. It opens up really nice now. Feels nice and solid. Zero Tolerance Benchmade Microtech had poor reputations for customer service. Since then, all three have improved and they've raised their reputations in the industry, which is great. Which is great. And I would say right now the reputation is there's a lot of people out there that really are into Vosti. They're liking some of the stuff that they're doing, which is great. I wish them well. I hope they're making some good stuff. But you know, sometimes things in the way people reply to emails and the way they interact can leave a bad taste in your mouth. And yeah, Justin, I think I'm going to be at my, I'm going to be with family tomorrow. I've been trying to make plans to go to the brother-in-law's house with the nephews, and we're going to get going on some of these bad boys and working on some handles. So the plan tomorrow is, I haven't heard back yet, but I think that's the go. But the plan is I'm going to go over there and we're going to start working on some handles. If we do that, I'll probably go live from there for a little bit. But that's kind of what I'm looking at for tomorrow. I'm excited to get going on these handles, on these little fun little, if you guys haven't seen, I've got several. I'll grab a few of them here. Several of these blanks. So this is a finished blank. This is D2. It's got a profile on it, but you could probably sharpen it up better. But basically what this is missing minimalistically would be just the handle. What, Dylan's being suspenseful? I had a personal issue with a certain company, and now I have a model on the way. So we'll see. Right on, Dylan. There's always room for improvement and change and to grow and be better, you know, and I could come around, but I kind of told myself, I'm like, dude, they saw the videos, they knew what was up, they chose what they wanted to do. And what they wanted to do, I was like, well, fine. So, and I'm not trying to sway anyone from anything in particular. I just kind of share my experiences. That's why I don't sit and like chat about it and like talk bad about them every day. Cause I'm more going to just talk about the stuff that I like. What am I interested in? There's so many good companies out there to talk about and get excited about. What did I choose? What did I choose for what, Brando? Kodiak Edge started making EDC hanks. That's cool. %1,000% justified in your stance. Companies need to learn from situations. Yeah, dude. Some other companies are literally like concept. I mean, this is kind of a different story in a way, but like concept, I'm at Blade Show, and this was my first year at Blade Show. So since I've gone back, I've gone to like 3 Blade shows. Now they all know me, and so like day one, I show up and we're hugging and saying hi and chit chatting and stuff like that. But like on the beginning, I don't own a Tarkin. Which one's the Tarkin again? Is that the what material patterns do y'all want to see? Something, I want to see some horror movie, I have one on the table right here underneath everything that's got horror characters on it. Something bloody, like a bloody Hank. Looks like it's a bloody Hank. Okay, what were we talking about now? Well, we've got to talk about those, but what was I trying to tell a story about? Wow. My brain just went concept. Blade Show. saw a couple knives and I was like, oh, you know, I really like that you have the Fenrir and it's lefty available. Skulls would be cool too. Something spooky season, horror movie, Halloween, but like realistic Halloween, not like jack-o'-lanterns and witch hats and stuff. Oh, and the thumb disc. I'll bring it up here. Dart leagues tonight. Go get them, Korskadin. Concept. So yeah, they didn't really know me yet. And I'm talking to them and I'm like, oh, you know, I like that you make some lefty knives. It'd be cool, you know, what lefty knives do you have here? And they didn't really have a whole lot. Your Blade Show lives are always fun to watch. Thank you, Grateful. And your Grateful is good to have in the Blade Show lives. No doubt. So I told them, I'm like, yeah, you know, I'd love to see some of the lefty versions that you have. And they didn't really have a lot. And long story short, they had no idea who I was. And they were like, oh, well, you know, we know you were looking for a lefty knife. She gave me your card, said, hey, get a hold of me, email me after the show. I email her after the show. She was like, hey, we're going to give you a Blade Show price on a lefty. Anything Emerson Wave, what's up? So I went and looked, and long story short, I got this premium lefty Fenrir. I think they sell these, or they retailed at that time for about 180, and they gave it to me for like 100. Just someone at Blade Show asking about a lefty knife. They didn't really have any. They did have one of the Fenrirs, but it was that black and red G10 one. I didn't really like the look of that. And boom. She was like, hey, email me after the show. And so I'm like, all right. So I emailed her and she's like, oh, hey, we got a deal for you. $100. Go ahead and order yourself a lefty. So they gave me a discount code. I ordered this lefty. I mean, how cool is that? I'm just another person. They could have said, oh, sorry, we don't have any in stock. We do have them available on the site. And then I could go on the site and I could spend $180 and buy it. But they gave me that discount, not even knowing me yet. You know what I mean? So like companies decide, and now I love Concept. I buy a bunch of Concepts. I'm all about it. How many more from other companies would I potentially have with positive interactions? You know what I mean? Concept Tarkin. I like this one. Yeah, that's a cool looking knife. Anybody have a Tarkin? Do you have a Tarkin? Who asked me that? No, I'm sorry. Was it banned today? Fred? Anyway, thumb disc on there. Whoever's got one of these. Fred, you've got one? Yeah, I'd check that out. My curiosity, obviously, with something like this, whenever it has the full frame lock, I'm a lefty. So is that frame lock going to work if I put pressure on it, you know? Let me grab where I have knives that are somewhere. Here we go. Speaking of concepts, here's my Concept Goblin XL. Full frame. I can put my thumb on there, still flick it out, no problem. So whenever there is a full frame right side lock knife, I always get worried about that pressure and still being able to flick it out. So that would be my one concern with the Tarkin, is it looks cool, but with that lock, that does look sus for being one that would potentially not work very well with a lefty flick. Goblin XL, sick bands today. Dude, I love this knife. This is definitely one of my favorites. Picked this up at Blade Show. I was looking at what was the other giant one that they had? What's the name of that other beast that they've got? But that one, the other one, I can't remember what it's called, but when I put my thumb on that lock, it wouldn't pop open. So I was like, I can't do that. And then as soon as I saw the goblin, I was like, okay, boom. That's a honker right there. So we've got these D2. Look at this one with the poon on there. Little D2 finished blanks. We got like 3 of them that are like this. They're all kind of slightly different shaped. Got a couple smaller little Damascus ones like this one here. And I have this beast one I've had for 15 plus years, this Bowie knife with some nice Damascus on there. But the plan is I'm going to be making some handles. So I bought some material like this right here, a nice little book matched piece. So we'll basically get those put, here, let me just get those set, pinned, and on there, and then carve them into a nice shape. But I have, 3 of these. Boom, boom, boom. These are all D2. Slightly different shapes from each other. So we make some handles for those. I did get a couple of these smaller ones like this. So I'm going to give one to my brother-in-law, one for me. Do I have a Sencut Draxer? No, I don't. But the Draxer is the one that has like that beefy kind of cleavery blade, right? I do like those. Fred, I got to say, I've been watching your collection over time. You got some really good taste in folders. Did you, Vance today, did you watch Ray's live from the other day? If not, there's a lot of Fred's collection in there, and it's wild. You should go check that video out. I should bring it up right now. Give me a second, and I will. Everyday City Carry. They had a meetup in New York, and he basically showcased a lot of Fred's knives. And so, yeah, if you want to see some crazy stuff from Fred, wild. Okay, let me find it. Here it is, the New York City Boys EDC meetup. I watched most of it last night. Kind of had to lurk a little bit, but you got to pay attention. It's not. Here's a knife. Oh, I fell out for a second. Here's a knife. Here's another cool knife. Here's another cool knife. Here's another cool knife. It's great. I'm gonna paste it in the chat here. Give me a sec. NYC meet with Fred's collection. Boom. Tab. Copy. Paste. There it is. Let me double check that I did it right. Click. Yep, that's it. So the link is now in the chat. I'll pin it up at the top. Ooh, it's almost 6:30. We got to make sure we don't overlap into KC. Knives Fast channel. Oh, wow. What? Sometimes YouTube doesn't recommend anything to watch. And sometimes you pull it up and it's like everything on the front looks like something you want to see. KN gets me to Knives Fast. Live. Oh, he's not going until 6:45. Okay, I'm gonna copy that too. Copy. KC live. And then Knives Fast channel goes live in about 15 minutes. There is the link for that if you're looking for somewhere to hang out. But yeah, if you want to see a bunch of Fred's amazing, it's just a really cool collections of a bunch of things. It's Everyday City Carry, Fred, several other people that were there, and it's just a whole bunch of cases and knives, and it's like they're basically looking at one and looking at one and looking at one, so you get to really check out a bunch of them. Ironwood is the #1 in wood choice. Olive wood and birch. Sure. I have a couple ironwood handles on some other knives. And this, what is this? Too bad the knot's kind of down there, but I feel like this is. Yeah. Oh yeah, multi-potentialite is Kodiak. Ironwood for the win. Yeah, Paul suggested a bunch of cool stuff I'm going to check out soon. Tyrell Knife Works, Koss, Tony Severio, Orion Knives. Bunch of cool new things that I haven't checked out yet. I was on live with Donnie, was on Bless Knives channel. Donnie and me and Paul, Stevie. It was a good time. Biggest limitation is being in Australia, right? It's tough to get them. I do think it's going to be a fun project. Should be pretty simple. I really would love to start doing some stock removal and making some knives one day. That's kind of a big part of starting this whole thing was just I'm an artist and started doing some customizations, playing around with some scales. And I was like, ooh, you know, now I'm getting closer. It's like I'm going to start making some handles. I actually bought this Bowie knife to make a handle for it mid 2000, maybe 2010-ish, or a little earlier than that. But what I can tell you is I don't know much about it, except for I think I spent 40, 50 bucks on it back then. And I have touched this and handled it and played with it and thrown it around and never cleaned it, never really cared about it. And it hasn't really shown any signs of rust or anything. So, yeah. Artists can make anything. Yeah, we can have fun. I'm excited to mess around, I'll tell you that. Story starts with mods. Before you know it, we'll have Kenman Savivi collab. I have some design ideas. I've had some design ideas. I want to start getting into doing some stock removal and making my own kind of fixed blades. I'd love to get to like what Donnie's doing, where you're actually making some folders. But that's definitely a lot more involved. I'll probably start off, make a few fixed blades. You know, I'm going to actually start off and start investing, you know, get a nice belt sander, get a nice like kiln. For like doing heat treat or whatever, and then just kind of maybe start doing some fixed blades, maybe getting some friction folders, because a friction folder is one that's easy to do because you're basically making like a fixed blade, like this little Bastinelli, and then it's just pressure friction fit in there, so you're really only just making the blade. It's like making a fixed blade and then sticking it in a handle. You know, my knowledge is free for the taking. Donnie, I still think the smart move would for me to just head on down, hang out for a weekend. Let me, you know, I'd love to though. That'd be great. I'd love to get down and hang out with Donnie. He makes such good stuff. He does such beautiful work. I'm literally would just love to just be able to just make one of these, you know, make something like this, put a handle on it. That's where my goals are right now. And it's totally, I'm in this for the fun. I love this. I love knives. I love making stuff. I love creating and just doing things with my hands. I will always want to. You do have big hands. You got Dylan in here making some really cool designs. Got a lot of wealth and knowledge. Started off feeling weird about YouTubers designing knives, but all the models I've seen come out have been solid and have the details knife collectors care about. See, that's where I think like more and more, I mean, I have 3,000 videos and I'm not, you know, I can learn something every day. I learn something from somebody else every day. I see something new in the knife world. I'm always going to know that I'm going to stay, I'm kind of like humble in that doesn't matter what you know, you can always learn more. You can always gain more knowledge or get a little bit better at what it is you're doing. But I also have found that the more knives that I review, the more I'm starting to get this in my head where it's like you kind of get used to it. The first 100 or so reviews, you're like, yeah, whatever. But now it's like I get used to like knowing, all right, I'm feeling how solid is it? What's it doing here? Is there any rock? Is there this? How's the center? You just start to think about the things. Think about the choke up and how does it feel when I'm up here like this, or where the jimps are and holding it different ways. And so sometimes like a YouTuber, depending on what they're doing, if you have someone who's handled and checked out tons of different knives, that's only going to help them formulate opinions on what could be better or what would work better in certain situations. Doesn't mean they're going to be able to design better, create better, come up with something better. But the more I learn, the more I handle, the more, 400 plus knives I've got in the house, the more I start to feel things that I like, things that I don't like. The action on this serene is awesome. But this finger choil is a little small. I would have made that bigger. I would have put jimps out a little bit further. But again, my personal preference don't always match up with other people's. But people that are in the world that have handled a lot of knives, I think, might have some good input on good ideas for the future. Yeah, Donnie lives dead center of the country. Mallory's been killing it from what I've seen. Dylan's designs are great. Fred says, I would also like to go and hang out with Donnie. Fred, let's go. Donnie's like, I don't want all you freaks in my house. Although I bet you, I'm just saying, but I bet you if anyone, Donnie might think Fred and I would be a good party. What's up, Brian? I need to go hang out with Brian too. Brian does some forging. Look at this bad boy. Made me this fork. Tell me that's not cool. I need to go hang out with Brian too, but I kind of am on the same fence as Donnie where it was like, stock removal is one thing, but getting out a hammer, woo! I am not in shape. I am not in shape. When I have yours, I won't be saying. Yeah, when Fred gets a hold of Donnie's, when he gets his blessed knife, hand delivered, hand picked up. Fred, though, you got to watch out for Fred, man. When we were in Atlanta, we're sitting there at the Kaiser meetup, and Fred puts this knife in my hand, and I'm holding it, and I'm like, oh wow, this thing's amazing. And then someone else came up, and he's like, I didn't even want to hold that, and I'm like, oh no, how much is this? I don't want to know how much this is. Let me hand this back to you right now. Fred's got some amazing knives. He's got really good taste. And he's got the ability to pick up some really cool stuff from some amazing makers. Donnie, forging? Hell no. Hell no. Absolutely forking not. Lifting a hammer is the pain. The power hammers are the future. Yeah, I could see how everyone's just going to have that. Just get in there. Although I feel like there's something to be said. I took a lot of ceramics classes and painting classes, and like something to be said for that handcrafted, done by hand kind of thing versus, pushing the button and the hammer. That's still kind of hand craftsmanship, right? What was I looking for? But yeah, tell me this fork isn't sweet. We chose the prongs. It's like a trident. In the live, we had a vote. It was like, should it be 2, 3, or 4? We ended up with 3. I love how that flat piece sits in my hand like that, and then my thumb rests in here for shoveling it into my face. Or if you hold it this way, my thumb sits right in that groove for like more sophisticated shoveling. Awesome stuff. I need to make a sheath for it though. I want to go camping and be like, ooh. Know what I'm saying? Brian, also I'm behind. Y'all know how it works. But Brian, you are still in my thoughts and prayers for getting your custom done. One of these days. It'll be about 4 years. What have I tried? Oh, have I used it? Yeah, I did have a steak with it. No issues. Although I was hungry, so it was like 4 bites and it was gone. Maybe 8 bites, I don't know. Dylan, you used to do some ceramics, some pottery. I was really into it. I really liked it. Pottery, ceramics, sculpture, painting, and then I got a lathe, and I was been making pots and bowls and stuff on a lathe too, out of wood. Pretty fun. I'm an artist through and through. So to me, crafting, creating, making things is super fun. And making things that are usable, like a knife or something, I think that is awesome. I want to get more into it for sure. Even if it's just to make stuff for me. You know, I could be completely content building myself a little bit more stuff in the garage, get some more tools, and then just boom, just making stuff for fun. Like mine's little slab work, some wheel. I should get out some sculptures. I used to really get into ceramic sculpture. I have some cocoons and some things that are 6, 7 feet tall, big, weird things that you would see like in a tool video. That was kind of the type of art that I made. This has been a very productive chat, gotta say. Very interesting ground covered, right? Definitely watch that video though later with all of Fred's knives. Man, there's some bangers in there. Kodiak Edge, yeah, he makes stuff too. Go check out Kodiak Edge's channel. Making my second Barlow now. 5th traditional folder. Fun. Post videos of it. What do you want to watch? Oh, he's on. All right, we got to go. Everyone go check out Casey on the Knives Fast channel. Let me post that link in here one more time if you missed it, but I like to promote other lives and not really go over the top. So there it is. There's Casey's Knives Fast, I think. Yep. Everybody take care. Stay sharp. We'll see y'all soon. Maybe be live tomorrow making some knives. We'll see.